Okay, and we're recording. Let's just start here. This is Tapan, Tippy, Tippy Longstockings, SIRINTIP,
No. SIRINTIP, yes.
SIRINTIP. Um, so this is the Kinder Town podcast. I was told I got to do an intro, but this is like a Zoom call, and it was hard to do an intro. So go to our Patreon, our website, thereignofkindo.com, and all that fun stuff. I That's so hard for me to do. I don't care. Just watch, just listen to Tippy because I'm really excited to talk to her. Isn't this like awkward? So
No, I've
fun.
done this so much. This is my life.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. I like awkward though. I like I like weird intros. Um, but really, it's so good to see you. So good.
You too.
So we did a tour over a year ago. A full US tour, and I haven't seen you since. We've texted back and forth a few times, but this is so fun. What have you been up to? What's going on?
How far back are we talking?
As far back as you want to go.
Well, after the Kindo tour in 2019, I went on a tour with Snacky Puppy in Europe, and that was super fun.
Yeah,
And
that's right. You were
then,
preparing for that on that tour. Yeah, I remember. It went well.
exactly, it was so fun. It was so great. They were sold out every night, so we were playing between for 2,000 to 5,000 people every night. And I'm gonna say that one more time. We were playing to for 2 to 5,000 people a night. It was a really,
I would
really
take
fun
like
time.
I take two people now, but man, that's a big crowd in Europe too. That's so cool.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm just like pointing out those numbers not to kind of brag, but just because that was the last thing I did before the world shut down.
Yeah.
So that contrast of meeting with so many people every night and just having everyone being packed in a room, like thousands of people, just comparing to how the world looks now when I look back, it's like, oh my God, how could we do that? You know?
Seems wrong, right? Like
I don't
I
know what's right or wrong anymore.
well, I'm sorry, like wrong meaning like it seems yeah, like how did we get away with gathering? Uh, I was watching a Stephen Colbert clips, and he said the weird thing is that this is what we've gotten used to, you know?
But at the time, like, that was a normal thing. We would have festivals and venues that would fill that many people everywhere. So I did that at the end of 2019, and then 2020 was supposed to be a writing year for me because this year I'm making a new album with Michael Lee.
Oh,
So
cool.
I was very fortunate that I had a few gigs and a few little tours, but I did not have that much outside going on in 2020. So when everything shut down, I was supposed to have like my one really big show of the year at Brooklyn Bowl, where I had arranged all my music for strings, and that got canceled, so that never happened.
So you did all that work arranging the music?
Yeah,
Wow. It can happen sometime, I hope.
I
Oh
hope so
man.
too. So everything got shut down, and because I felt like I was in a very fortunate position with my timing, I decided to do a fundraiser for my birthday to help musicians. And that inspired a friend of mine I hadn't talked to in years to reach out and be like, hey, we should like make a festival to try to raise money for this thing that you started. And I'm like, oh, cool. And he was like, yeah, I came up with this name called Live from Our Living Room. Oh, that sounds cool. And then I reached out to another friend of mine called Tana Alexa. The first friend, his name is Owen Broder. So I reached out to Tana Alexa because I knew that she had um, some experience with fundraising and grant applications, so we could like start making grant applications for people to apply, because like everyone I knew lost their work like in a day. I remember that day. I think it was like March 13th, when everyone's just like, you go on social media and everyone's like, I've lost everything, and it was so heartbreaking. So we started to fund a bunch of money by making online concerts, and this was April 1st. So we did a festival April 1st to April 9th, I believe, and we were able to raise $60,000,
Mm,
and we were able
wow.
to help 65 musicians. And then from there, we did another festival in collaboration with the DC Jazz Festival, and then we did a creative summit in July. So in total, we raised $140,000 to help
Mm,
musicians all over the US who lost
wow.
work because of COVID. And that was all of my existence for the first like half year of 2020.
Yeah, so I saw some of that stuff, and you started on that real quick. Man, that's so incredible. What inspired you? Especially, that's kind of forward thinking, like especially for the time. It was like 15 days. How long did it take you to put that together, you know?
Yeah, like 2 weeks.
Yeah, geez.
Yeah, I think it
You're,
was just the inspiration came from seeing everyone lose everything. And
mm,
Tana, my friend, she was one of those people. She was finally releasing her debut album, and she was finally having her first debut tour, and that didn't happen. Becca Stevens
mm.
had this huge,
Oh
like,
man.
beautiful album that was supposed to come out, and I just felt like I was in a fortunate position that I had just been touring with you guys in 2019, touring with Snarky. 2018 was a really big touring year too, that I had that at least. So I was like, okay, what can I do to help? So I was just starting, and then everything just happened. And I'm very, very grateful that we were able to help a lot of people.
Mm, mm. That's so cool. Yeah, I admittedly for me, I was still kind of stunned. My brain wasn't thinking like, how can I help yet? I'm a late bloomer to like stuff. It takes me a lot to like process or like, a little longer to process things. And by April 1st, I think it set in. I'm like, wow, okay, this is but you're on top of that. That's so cool. And I had a couple questions to ask you. About the tour we did together, which kind of seems wrong to talk about a time before this whole thing. Um, it doesn't seem wrong, but I wanted to. So the tour that we did, it was the first time you really performed by yourself, or like in that capacity with, man, what was that like? Like how did you prepare for it? Because you normally have a band, you normally have musicians who play with you, which frees you up to, be the front woman or whatever, entertain, all that stuff. And here you are just trying to press buttons and make sure they work. And it sounded great. Like I loved it, but I know that there were some hiccups for you and it was very new.
Um, I definitely spent a few months trying to prepare. So before the Kindle tour, I was used to using pedals and doing looping and stuff, but it would usually just be like one or two songs in a set to kind of be a palate cleanser between a lot of band songs. And it could be a moment of an intimate moment with me in the audience, versus when I'm with the band and I'm just running around and, being a crazy person. Um, doing Preparing for it was basically, first what I needed to do was to figure out a set list and to figure out songs that was possible to perform live. There are a lot of fun things with looping, is like you can just create music with yourself. But the hard part about it is that sometimes it can put you into like a form that's hard to open up. So it's like if you come up with a little sequence of four measures, then you kind of need to live with that. There are more developed loopers where you can do multiple things, but without any kind of planning or preparation, or maybe even pre-recorded loops, it's really hard to make it work. Because
Yeah, you had
loopers are
some,
so much about timing.
yeah, yeah, you had some pre-recorded stuff, a little bit at least, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's,
So for me,
yeah.
so what I did to kind of make it feel, because you guys like had me do a support for 45 minutes by myself as a singer.
Sorry to give you so much time.
No, I'm so grateful. Um, but basically, I don't think anyone would have enjoyed just listening to solo vocals for 45 minutes. At a certain point, it's
Yeah,
just, it
you
doesn't
know,
lend itself to that.
I apologize too. I want to interject. The original idea, and I'm a big dreamer, was to have us regularly playing with you that you could plan on, and it would be kind of like a symbiotic sort of show. Um, Obviously, that tour, the logistics of that tour were just, we quickly found out like that's not even possible for this tour. Um, and I totally was like, when I realized the reality of it, because when we're on a tour like this, like those who are listening, like it, we're playing venues. A a lot of people don't care that we're there. It's just, I mean, many do, but they're just trying to get through the day. The promoter, they work at that venue every night. Uh, Sound check is something they do not like doing. The sound guy may show up or not, or probably late, which directly it really messes up what we're trying to do. So we had three artists and sometimes Rocco, so four artists, and all need some sort of like a sound check. And what it ended up being is that Kindo barely gets a sound check, maybe a kind of a line check. And we've been in tours before where, like the headlining band gets priority, and that's how it is. But a lot of times you and everyone else were without a sound check, and we couldn't even jump in to like figure out, oh, how can I jump in on this song? You were trying to figure out, do my buttons work? I don't know. Let's hope for the best. And that must have been so stressful. And I was very let down by that reality. But
I
you
mean,
sounded
it's
great, is what
just.
I'm saying. No,
Thank
you
you.
did.
Well,
I'm not lying.
thanks. Well, I think the tricky part, just going back to kind of what you were asking before about pre-recorded tracks, was that I felt like for me to do 45 minutes by myself, to not make it the same for 45 minutes, was to also have songs with tracks. So it would be some of only vocals, some of like some vocal with hand programmed drums, and then some with a pre-recorded track so you can help build stuff. But definitely that would come with some technical issues when we did not get sound checks, and I hadn't used my setup like that before. So
Yeah.
some of the mistakes that were happening with the sound, some of it, a lot of it was the sound guys because they also hadn't seen anyone do anything like me before. It's not just like plug in a mic and sing. It was a little bit more complicated than that. And for me too, sometimes I would have messed up somehow, but I never got a chance to figure it out because we didn't get a sound check. But I mean, I think all that aside, it was so fun, and I'm so happy that you guys asked me. It's like one of the most fun tours I've ever done, and the one of the most challenging ones I've ever done to do it all by myself. But then also one of the tours where I've grown the most because I did it all by myself.
Yeah. I can't stress that enough. I mean, we went through this. And like, we went through this together, this tour. Kindo's been on, in the 15 years, whatever, we've been on a lot of tours. This was by far the most difficult tour that we've ever done. It was, I mean, it was an impossible task. like literally, I was at the merch table every night. The guy set up my instruments for me. I barely got to warm up. Um, you know what? Not only that, mainly the drives were like no hanging out.
Insane.
At it, there were a few times where we literally got 3 hours of sleep, and we show up at a venue, and when you get to a venue, it's not glamorous. It kind of smells, and a lot of times the sound guys, not only have they not seen what you do, they may have been hired a few weeks ago because they're a young guy, a young person, whatever, and they don't know what they're doing. And even during like sound checks that we would have, it was just we have a lot of inputs, and they just at that level there was a lot that could go wrong and a lot went wrong, and it was very stressful and very tiring. But it was very rewarding to show like, geez, this is what we're capable of. I don't want to ever be put to that test again. um, I remember a time, it was in Detroit, um, and some stuff happened with your, I can't remember exactly, but it really rattled you. It was kind of like the first few shows. Do you remember?
Yeah, it was the
Yeah.
fourth show. It was
You
brutal.
know the exact number.
Yeah.
um, no, that was, I remember in that moment how upset you were, and I knew exactly why you were upset. And we're, we didn't know each other at all, really. You and I talked on the phone a bit, but that's it. We never met in person. I met you in person when all the guys came to pick me up last at my apartment. Um, so it was a very new situation for you. All dudes too. There's not there was not one female on the trip but you. Um, it was very. I remember that moment, and I remember thinking, like, there's nothing I can do to like. I wasn't even trying to like help you feel better. I was just like, you're badass. This is sounding great, but it really was, but it wasn't about that because you weren't in it, you know? And
Oh
I
no,
know what it's like
that
to be
was
taken out.
well, I wouldn't say that that was what the thing that was the hardest thing. It was just because it was such a new setup. I've never performed like that live
Yeah.
before with my entire setup. I've had a pedal board, but this was a pedal board plus Ableton on a computer, plus an audio interface, plus a keyboard, and plus a new venue every night with a new sound guy every night. And I can't be in control of what happens in the room with the sound guy and the sound system. That's completely out of my control, what kind of speakers they have and what kind of person is sitting there. All I can be in control of is how my gear at least sounds in my ears. So what happened was that when my in-ears got stomped on and cracked, my $700 custom molded in-ears that I spent like so much money on, specifically for this tour, to be able to make sure that I could hear everything that I do. Because when you do looping, if you don't hear everything clearly, you can't sing in tune and you can't sing in time. So when those cracked, I had no idea how I was going to do my show. And I had like 22 shows left.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's right.
So it's
Yeah.
like if you go on stage and there's no monitors and you know that you're hitting the bass but you don't hear anything every night. Like it's impossible.
Mm,
So I
mm.
was just very worried that I would not be able to do a good job with such a key, important, custom made thing that was broken. I couldn't just go to Guitar Center and
Ah,
get new in-ears.
that's yeah, yeah, geez. Yeah. I when looking like back on it, I mean, even in the moment, like there was definitely a sense of responsibility that I had for this whole tour. And I did the best I could, and it was a success. but there was a lot that I was like, oh no. And like the amount of work I was doing at the merch table, and you were having difficulties, and Rocco didn't get to play as much as he thought because of situations we had no control over. Um, Adrian Belew killed it every night. He was fine. I think he just had some back problems in the van. Um,
He
but
had some sound problems too.
no, he did. He did. Yeah, no, he definitely did. I wanted to bring him into the conversation, but yeah, I'm happy that we did it, and like it was like a sense of like a family, like a sisterhood with you of like we just did something impossible, and I asked you to be on the tour, and it's my responsibility that you're here, right? And like, yeah, it was just a lot. But I'm so thankful. Man, it felt like an eternity when we were on that tour.
I
The whole
think it's
month.
just because we've been in this like virtual world for so long now. So like everything before COVID just feels like an eternity. At least for me, it feels like a different lifetime to go on a tour and to like once again be in rooms with hundreds and thousands of people. It's like I can't even imagine that type of future now. But I'm so thankful that that happened. Like, what I would do now to go to a shitty club and only sleep for 3 nights and try to lift backline in my heels because I didn't bring any flat shoes. You know, like what I would do to do that now.
So what you're saying is that yeah, you're welcome. You can just thank me, you know.
I would totally do it again. It's like all the shitty things aside, it's so worth it. It at the end of
Yeah,
the day, that doesn't matter. That the technique didn't work, that my in-ears broke, that whatever, you know, we were there. We created this family bond that you talked about, and we were playing music and sharing that with people every night. That's the
yeah,
incredible part. And that's the thing that
yeah.
I remember. I seriously, before you brought it up, I haven't even thought about any of those things. Like
Oh man,
for
I could have got
over a
it. We could have
year.
got away with it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
haven't thought about it at all. All I think about is like, wow, I did this US tour when we drove through America from East Coast to West Coast and back.
yeah. We did. Uh, to make it clear, we did 28 shows in 31 days.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's more than insane. It's just more than insane. Imagine imagine not playing shows. Imagine just not playing shows and going to every city that we did in that amount of time. And we had to be there 8 hours before we played
Well, Jeff,
and somehow sleep.
the craziest thing is like even though we did not sleep on those tours, even though the drives were long, even though we were dealing with lifting it backline and setting up and down every day,
Oh,
I feel so much more tired now. I'm at home all day. I stare at the screen all day. Literally, my
hmm.
computer tells me how many hours I spend on the screen, and I'm averaging 11 hours a day. And I'm more
Wow.
tired now than I was on that tour. And I think it's because, with all the shitty things aside, there was so much more joy and energy that came out from it.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. It's like the much more effort, but what you're getting in return. Not only, I mean, the most important was performing and connecting with fans and performing live, but the the family and hanging out with all we had on the road was each other, literally. It's like, and it's just it was tough. You know, I was just thinking, I wanted to ask you what. So with your setup, you're used to being able to connect with fans and kind of be free and dance around and get into it. That was kind of taken away from you in a sense. It from your having to pay attention to all the details and things are going wrong. Um, what did you do, or did you find it difficult to really connect with the fans, or what did you do to help with that? That would be hard for me.
I mean, I think it's the same with any type of instrument that the more you do it, the more comfortable you become, and the more comfortable you are, the more present you can be. So, and especially when it comes to looping and stuff, as soon as you have it set up, you are more free. You still need to be aware of the next thing to come and be ready to like cue that in or whatever it is. But I definitely felt like definitely at the back end of the tour, I was very comfortable and I felt like I can be more present. But even at the beginning of the tour, because it was so new, I think when stuff is new, you also become more present because you need to.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, you're such a pro. That's a pro answer. You're like, yeah, it was really hard, Jeff, but I've done this before. I'm gonna figure it out. Um, I didn't tell you this was going to happen, but I don't think you'll be mad at this. I have another Kindo member here. His name is Rodney Flood, that wanted to join it and ask you
Rodney!
some questions. Yeah,
Yay! Yay!
I'm going to admit him. I told him to ask some good questions.
Okay.
Enter it. Come in, Rodney. Let's see. Here he is.
Rodney! Rodney!
Hello.
Ah,
I want to hug you so bad.
And you know what, Tip? One day we will.
Can't wait. That's probably the thing I miss the most is just to hug people.
Same here. I just told someone that just the other day. Actually, yesterday, I just said the same thing to someone.
I
That's all I want to
especially
do.
miss being hugged by Rodney because he's so tall that he just engulfs all parts of you.
Oh,
Tip, how you doing? Oh my God, it's so good to see you.
you too.
Oh man.
It's been too
Wow.
long.
It really, really has. Well, first and foremost, I just have to say congrats to you. Because wait a minute, was it last year? Yeah, was it last year that you got engaged?
Yes.
It was last
Thank
year, right?
you.
Oh
That's how weird.
yeah.
That's how weird it is. I'm like, was that last year or the year before? Like, I don't even know. The concept of time is gone. Oh, but
Thank
that's
you.
awesome. Of course. You're welcome. You're welcome. So cool.
That was
Man.
very fun.
Yeah.
He proposed to me with one of my own H&M rings because everything was closed, so he couldn't get a ring.
Really?
Come on,
Wow.
really?
Wow.
No, I have to tell you, when I was a kid, um, I had this fantasy of like when I would propose to my wife with a Cracker Jack box ring. That was just, and people were like, "Well, she's definitely not gonna like that." I'm like, that's how I'll know she's the one."
That's right.
Yeah.
You don't listen to anything those people say. If that's what you're feeling, man, you do it. That's right.
So I wanted to
Definitely.
take this
Yeah.
time to propose to you, Rodney. I don't have a ring.
Well, I don't know if you have to do better than Cracker Jacks if you're going to propose to me.
What? You just said don't listen to what they say. You're not the one then. That's fine.
Well, yeah, that was different. This is me
Rodney,
we're
you got
talking
some dope
about here.
So you have some dope questions
Oh,
for SIRINTIP here, don't you?
I do. Well, let's
Bring
see.
them on.
And another first of all, I just saw today that you released a remix, right?
No.
Or did I misread that? Oh no, you said
Yeah.
it was an anniversary, a release anniversary. That's
Release
right.
anniversary, yes.
That's
Of
right.
my
That's
first
right.
ever single.
Yeah, that's
It came
right.
out
That's
3
right.
years ago.
That's you see. I pay attention. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that we were going to do this when I read that. I just saw your post and I was like, hey, look at that.
Aww.
That's cool. Oh yeah. See, I'm genuine.
I've been seeing your videos too. You've been posting a lot of you playing and singing. It's
Oh,
awesome.
oh, thank you, thank you. It was like so many other people, and last year I just had this. First of all, I had time. That was one thing. I had so much more time just to do these things and to just get these things out, these inspirations that I had out, because
Yeah,
typically for all of us, really, it, the typical year is on the go, on the road, and playing gigs and things like that. So it was cool just having time to do that. And so thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed. Glad you enjoyed. I'll have some more. I'll have
definitely.
some more. I got some more
Yeah.
things swirling around up here.
One of my favorite moments, I think that you actually caught on camera, was when I think we were in Salt Lake City
Hmm.
and I was playing on the drums and then you were singing.
Yes.
I thought you were gonna say, I thought you were gonna say another hilarious moment when in Salt Lake City we were loading up the van and we couldn't find Rodney, and he was on the scooters. He just starts scooting by. He's like, "Yo, what's up, guys?" Yo, that's
That's
how that's
right.
how I know.
That's
That's how I know, because that was like mid 2.5 week part of the month tour. We were also loopy. No one skips out on loading the van. Somehow, Rodney just was like, "I'm just gonna go ride a scooter while we're loading the van," and like literally. I remember this too. Was walking like I think I don't even know Rocco can any one of the guys or you I don't know said was like where's Rodney like helping us out and like a movie as they said it Rodney's like hey guys wee
That's so true. And Tip, I'm gonna ask you a question, but this is awesome. I just love talking about this and reminiscing about that tour, because that was Rocco's birthday. That was actually Rocco's birthday, and what
It
I did, I actually gave
it
him,
was.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, like it was that day, and I said happy birthday, and I paid for a scooter ride for him.
did he take it
But did he go
Oh
on
yeah,
the scooter or was
I,
it
I
just
I
you?
think he went. I think he went like after when I
wow
when I
he
got
even
around
loaded
to
in
where
on
you
his
guys
birthday
were.
too
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give Rocco a ride on a scooter. So I was like, there you go, happy birthday.
oh
Oh man. All right, here we go, Tip. Are you ready for this question? It's gonna get serious
Yes.
now.
Give it
Not,
to me.
not really. so so the other day I was a guest on a friend of, actually a Kindle fan, a really cool guy named Tommy Graven. He has a weekly show on Twitch, so where he like interviews, talks to people, and he's a musician as well. And I was a guest, so I was playing and singing one of my brand new original songs, and forgot the lyrics, and it was hilarious. So that's my question to you, Tip. What do you do when, if and when, I'm not going to assume you forget lyrics, because I'm just not going to assume that. But if and when you forget lyrics, what do you do? How do you handle it? Because I just started cracking up. I just kept playing the same chord until I remembered it, and then I just continued. But how about you?
It depends on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
If it is my own songs, I could just come up with some words and no one will know.
Right.
If it's like a pop song that everyone knows, or okay, do you guys want to hear like a really sad, horrible story?
Oh, of
Yeah.
course
This is a
not.
true story. This is one of my biggest like vocal traumas in my entire life.
Okay.
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 So
I'm
I
so
want you
excited.
to be nice and have empathy for me because this was horrible.
You
Wait a
got
minute.
it.
We spent
You
a
got it.
whole month together, and you needed to ask us to do that?
Okay, so this was an event in Midtown Manhattan.
Mhm.
I believe it was a Sheraton Hotel at a really huge conference thing. So it was like 500 people. And they had asked me, born in Thailand, raised in Sweden, to sing the American national anthem. Um,
Okay.
yes, one closer to being a citizen. Okay, so I walk up on stage after they like welcome everyone and then they like show the flag or whatever you Americans normally do. And then they ask me to come up to the stage. So I walk up to the stage. Now, not being an American, I did not expect for all these 500 people who were sitting down to just stand up and put their hands on their chests. And then and then everyone's just like staring at me. I'm like, okay. And then this is completely a cappella. And you guys know this because you're Americans, but I'm not. So I was shocked. This
Oh.
does not happen. Um, anyways,
Wow.
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sing this song. And I sing and I'm like doing great and hit the high notes. I'm like, oh cool, I'm actually crushing this. And then Rodney, I forget the lyrics.
Oh.
Which lyric did you forget? Can you remember?
I was
No.
I was oh, there you go. Just it's fine. It's totally fine. Totally no
No,
problem.
I think it was like what is it? Like after
And the
that.
Rockets.
Okay,
The
it's red
Rockets.
glare.
Yes,
I don't
after
know
the
all the
high
lyrics
note.
actually.
So I
Oh
hit the high
boy.
note and then I just paused because I can't remember the lyrics. And
Oh
I'm just
boy.
looking at everyone and I'm so stressed out because I know that everyone in this room knows the lyric except for me.
Oh man.
What'd you do?
Everyone except for me. So I just don't know what to do. And then someone yells out the lyric and then I continue to sing and then I was fine.
Yes. I was
Wait,
hoping
so
you would say
who
that.
who yelled it out? A fan?
Someone in the audience. It wasn't really a fan thing. I wasn't opening up this huge
Oh,
conference.
I meant like I just meant like
Oh
fans.
man.
That's the lingo. Jeez.
Wow. Wow.
That
Wow.
was so
Wow.
traumatic.
Oh,
That was so traumatic.
I can only
I can feel that.
imagine. That's
Do you have
boy.
video of that?
No, I hope no one else has.
Oh man, I would watch that over and over.
No. And I mean
Oh,
No, not.
afterwards just to make
I
myself
love
feel better,
disasters. Yeah.
I went online to look on YouTube for like national anthem disasters just to feel better about myself.
oh, and there are
You're the
many.
sweetest. You're the sweetest
Oh,
person. That's exactly what I would have done too. National anthem disasters.
there
All
are
right,
many.
you're basically saying where are my people at? You got an email address? I gotta talk to you.
I think it's just something about that song because it's so loaded with this like America and all of
Mm-hmm.
that, and like it's a song that every American knows because you grew up with it.
Right.
Um, but I think a
Tip.
lot of people fold on it just because it's so like pressured. It's not like
Sure.
any other song. I'm not talking about the technical part of it of like it's high and whatever. It's
Mm-hmm.
just like what it is. It's a national
Yeah.
anthem makes it really like loaded.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your story is definitely way better. But I had a similar experience. I was playing with with Vertical Horizon. We were playing in Washington D.C. 4th of July
Oh.
on whatever the air base. It's like just south of Washington D.C. And
Williams.
yeah, Giddy Up, right
No,
there.
I totally just made that up. Is it really Williams?
It rang a bell in my brain. Let's just call it Williams.
I
So
just
Sling
threw a
It
name
Williams
out there.
Air Base.
I'm sorry.
I just trust you so much.
Makes me happy. I'm sorry. Continue.
So what happened was they asked the band, the four of us, to sing the national anthem together, like in unison, And with this gig, I'm just a guy like who's hired basically to do what they need me to do, play bass. But they're like, we want you to also sing with us. I'm like, okay, great, of course. And I had a panic attack kind of because I was like, I don't know all the lyrics to this song. I don't. I know like what the lyrics sound like, but I don't know what they mean. So they don't stick in my brain. You know what I mean? And so I was practicing it. And it came time to do it. And I'm not a lead singer. I can do some harmonies and stuff, but I'm not like, so I'm singing the lead part with three other people. And I definitely forgot about 30% of the lyrics. But I could just go, and good, because the other guys were singing it,
You were doing the double dutch. You were jumping in and out.
Yeah. But I brought that up because it was also a weird traumatic experience during the national anthem.
Yeah. On the 4th of July in Washington, D.C.
At Williams Air Base.
That's right. Williams
There's
Air
something
Base.
about that song.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Like a really good friend of mine, Jennifer Hartswick, she plays trumpet. And I'm not sure if it was the national anthem or one of the other, patriotic.
God Bless America.
Yeah, it was one of those. And I remember she was telling me the story of how I think maybe the first one of the, if not the first time, one of the first times she was asked to do that on trumpet. I think it was her grandfather who told her, just keep it simple when it came to that song. Because you think about it, so many people would try to just go crazy with the technical part, like you were saying earlier, Tip. But when you think about it, it's like that. It's one of those songs where, like, just keep it simple, because many have tried and failed to when you try to get too fancy and you try to riff all over the place. So I just never forget her telling me that story, and I just thought about that because we were talking about that song.
I definitely failed even when I kept it simple.
That's definitely the song to keep simple though, because not about you.
Right.
And the Rockets red glare.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, come on.
Like, think about it.
I don't know.
Whitney Houston has one of the, in my opinion, one of the greatest renditions of that song.
100%.
And this is Whitney Houston, but she kept it. I mean, but it was Whitney, so it was just a powerful. But it was just so straight and just vocal strength and power, and it's one of the, if not the greatest, one of the greatest versions of that song by
100%.
far.
Have you heard Canada's national anthem?
Mm-hmm. I am.
Are you familiar with it?
How does it go?
I was asking Tippy. Yeah, it kind of sounds like a cover of the American one, but I think I like it better actually. But it's like, oh Canada, our home and native land,
right?
True patriotism and something.
Yeah, no, when I grew up in Thailand up until I was 11 years old, every morning at 8 a.m. we needed to line up in front of our classrooms and sing the Thai national anthem,
Mm.
which is ป
What
ระเท
is
ศไทยรวมเลือดเนื้อชาติไทยเป็นประชารัฐประชาของไทยทุกส่วนอยู่ดำรงคง
it's so
ไว้
good.
ได้ทั้งมวล Yeah, and it goes on. But basically that's what I grew up with. It's
Yeah,
very different from the
That's so
American
much
one.
better. That's
I
so
love
fun.
that. I
Yeah, me
love
too.
that. That sounds so much fun.
Way more fun than ours. Ours is like, all right, guys, we're singing our national anthem.
Bombs, rockets, and
It's serious, guys, and we're gonna bomb you. We're gonna rocket you, and you guys are like, "Come on, guys, we all live here."
Well, it's definitely about the nationalism and the Buddhism and the love for the royal family. So that's all of it
That's
baked in
awesome.
one.
Like that. I like that. So you mentioned that my next question. You see how easy these things flow when you're having fun. You see
Yeah, we're
that
just making it happen.
yeah. Yes. We're just getting in the mix, you know. We're going up and down. We're
Yep.
going around and around. We're doing this. We're doing that. We're doing hey. So you mentioned. So I mean, I knew this, but you mentioned you grew up in Thailand, and then you moved to Sweden, right?
Mhm.
So first of all, I just want to say, do you remember the time that we were almost in Stockholm at the same time, but we weren't?
Yes.
It was like
Yes.
2 months after the tour, and we literally just missed each other. I think it was just as I got my scheduling wrong or something like that, and we were off by like a day.
I
But
know. I
so
think I
crazy.
was in London.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right. And I remember
Yeah.
we get to Stockholm. I'm like, Tip, I'm here. And you're in London? I was like, no.
I mean, it's like an hour flight, it's not that far, but it is far.
Oh my God. But what was it? And I love Stockholm, by the way. I only spent a few hours there, but oh my God, it was a beautiful city. Beautiful city. What was it like? What was it like living in Stockholm? And how long did you live there?
I think I lived there for 13 years.
Okay. That's a good amount
So
of time.
definitely the majority of my life has been in Sweden, and then second
Mhm.
place is Thailand, and third place is America.
Gotcha.
Um, but I would say that for me, because I moved to Sweden when I was 11, it
Hmm.
was a very, very big difference from Thailand. So in Thailand, I was never allowed to do anything by myself because it was always like, you can get kidnapped, you can get killed, you can get robbed and mugged and all these
Right.
things. Don't do anything yourself. If you go outside, a python might eat you. It's like crazy. And I'm not joking. We had
Yeah.
snakes in our backyard, and a python
Yeah.
ate my dog.
Jeez. Oh
Like,
man.
it sounds crazy because we're
Mm.
comparing it to here, but there it's like,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
it is what
Totally.
it is.
Yeah.
And Bangkok is super
Totally.
developed as well. So it's
Hmm.
not like a completely third world country. It
Sure.
has skyscrapers and an economy and all these things. But then it also is so close to nature and
Yeah.
rainforests and wild animals that will kill
Hmm.
you.
Or your dog. Oh,
Exactly.
All right,
jeez.
So
all right.
going
I just heard that a snake kills your dog.
my
I was, I,
python.
Oh, that's wild.
man,
I have only seen that on TV. So, oh my God, that's insane.
It is
that
insane.
exact instance, you saw that on TV.
Well, I mean, yeah, I've seen, pythons kill things and kill smaller animals. Yeah, it's not
That
pretty.
was a failed joke. Never mind. Let's move on.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes. So just to give you context of where I was coming from, Then moving to Sweden and being an 11-year-old, and my mom was like, you can just take the subway wherever you want to go and just walk wherever. It was the complete opposite of not having any freedom at all to having all the freedom. And
Right,
like, oh, I
right.
don't need to be worried about crime. I don't need to be worried about anything. And
Mm,
so I think that was like the biggest difference. And also when I moved to Sweden, I started a music elementary school, where all the kids, all the 1,000 kids at the school could sing because you needed to audition to be able to get in. And
wow.
that happened right when the Harry Potter movies came out. So for me, it felt like I was moving to Sweden to go to Hogwarts, where like we had all these wizard kids who could sing. Yeah, it was very fun.
That is so cool. That is so so cool. Like not even comparing, but the differences in in the part of the world that you live in, the part of the world that you grew up in. Like I grew up here. I'm a New Yorker,
You
and
grew
I
up
think
like a next block from me.
yeah. I grew up right around 225th, right around that area. So
I
yeah,
love that area.
yeah, yeah. I grew up right around Inwood, and I used to go to Inwood all the time, and yeah, that I mean, again, just thinking about comparisons, and um, where I grew up in the Bronx, and I tell people kind of similar things that when I was growing up, in the 80s and 90s, the Bronx wasn't the place that most people wanted to wanted to go to and visit or live.
Yeah.
Um, it's changed over the years, but for the most part, a lot of people still have this like, oh, I don't want to go there. But I bring that up only because whenever I'm talking to people about visiting New York or moving to New York, I always try to kind of champion visiting visiting outside of Manhattan, because Manhattan, you have the skyscrapers, you have the rich upon rich upon rich, but you do, and yeah, you do have your bad areas, and when you go to other boroughs and things like that. But I just think about that because I know where I'm from, and I'm proud of where I'm from. And but yeah, but I can understand, I can kind of understand where you're coming from when you say that. Just the differences in culture and economic uh, level, where you are economically and things like that. It's an interesting thing.
I mean, everything is just so intertwined and
Mm,
connected.
yeah.
So I'm not sure if they've changed it now, but when I was growing up in Thailand, the legal age of when you needed to attend school was 11. So if you went to school until you were 11, you were after that allowed to drop out and work
Wow.
for your parents. So
Wow.
this would just continue the cycle of people not being able to get a proper education and change their lives. So if they came from a family with abuse, then it's hard to get out of that if you never get to, make your own thing. So it's like it's such a structural issue.
Sure. Sure.
And yeah.
Wow.
And 2020, I don't know if you followed the news, but it's been a lot going on in Thailand
Mm,
politically as well.
mm. Oh, those politics.
Oh my god, the world.
Oh,
Yeah.
So let's
politics.
talk. Let's talk politics. So here's what I got.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's
Ugh.
think about things we don't want to. Um,
Listen, Elmo for president. Okay, that's my politics.
LMO.
Elmo.
El.
Elmo from Sesame Street.
There you go. That's my politic talk for the night. Elmo
I
for
love that.
president.
Listen, me
I
too. I
love
love
that.
Elmo. Jim
Elmo
Henson,
was
he's the
awesome.
greatest.
Oh man.
Have you been to the Jim Henson? I haven't been there, but the Jim Henson exhibit. at the MoMA?
No, I haven't
Yeah.
yet. I haven't yet. I hear it's incredible. I hear it's incredible.
Let's all talk about how we've never been there, but I really want to go.
I've been to
No, there's
MoMA,
a
but not to that one.
Yeah, I
yeah.
haven't been
Oh,
there for that
I'm sorry.
exhibit.
No, not MoMA. It's the film, the Museum of Film in Queens. What's it called?
Moving Image.
M word. That's it. MoMA Moving Image. Yeah, I've never been there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. And it's in Astoria. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, Jim Henson. I remember crying when I found out that he passed away. I was so devastated because I grew up with the Muppets. I mean, who didn't really? Like, no,
Who's your favorite
no,
Muppet?
my favorite Muppet? Oh boy. Oh, that's a good question. There's so many.
Tippy, did you watch the Muppets?
I think maybe once, but they're called Mupparna in Swedish.
That, first of all, I like that much better.
Mupparna.
I love that. Oh, that's so much better. Oh, it's just a great word. It sounds so just better.
It's fun.
Yeah. My favorite, I'm still trying to think. There's so many. I mean, I guess most would assume Animal because he was a drummer and crazy. But
what about Janice?
I think Janice is hilarious with the.
Do you remember Janice, Tippy?
I know.
She was like one of the few female Muppets, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there were a lot, but she was like she played the guitar, long hair, big lips, and her eyes were always closed. She was the coolest.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
I mean, let's think about this. She was supposed to be, I'm assuming, like a hippie kind of character. So would it be safe to say that Janice was probably always high?
Yeah.
Because she was always like, "Hey man," you know what I mean? So like, I literally just had that thought. Janice was probably always high. I mean, good for Jim Henson for thinking. But yeah, that's so funny. Like, of those main characters, Janice and Miss Piggy were the only two female Muppets. Or I'm sorry, what was the word again in Swedish? So. I'd have to remember this.
Mupparna.
Slower. Mupparna.
So it's Mupparna.
Gotcha. Emphasis on that. Mupparna.
Emphasis on the dough.
Yeah. But it's also funny because if you think that someone's like being a little like stupid, you're like, oh, you're such a jerk, but like in a funny way. Like, does that make sense? So you're not like, oh, you're such a jerk, like in a mean way. It's more like, oh, you're such a jerk, like that type of way. Then you can say you are a moop.
Okay.
So you're so Mupparna is like the Muppets. It becomes plural, but Moop is just a singular.
Gotcha.
So the jerks.
No. What would that English word be? Like a joking kind of jerk person, like not a mean jerk person. What would you call that?
I mean,
not a mean jerk.
Well, see, that's the thing. When you think about it, a lot of words are based on inflection and tone. So we'll have the same word, but it's all about how you say it. You know. So just like you said, like, oh, you're such an idiot. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, oh, you're such an idiot. You're such an idiot. Like, oh, you're such an idiot. As opposed to
There's this.
you are such an idiot. That
Yeah,
I'm working on my chops.
yeah. A mook can definitely be, you're such an idiot,
Yeah,
too.
there you go.
Yeah, but it's
Uh,
definitely not like the idiot.
yeah, yeah.
It's not that.
I think that a good word for like a not mean jerk in English is Rodney.
That sounds like an insider joke to me.
Sounds like that's the name of the person that's I'm talking to with you, and I was trying to be funny and make fun of him.
Yeah.
But
No,
it's
I
gonna
would
catch on.
call,
Stop trying to be such a Rodney.
aw, I think I would say like Rodney is like a love bum. Is that how you would
A
say it?
love bum?
I like that.
I love that. I do too. What is that?
Like a big squeezy thing you just want to squeeze.
A love bum. I
Like
love
someone you just want to hug.
All right. Here's the only problem with that. You will try to squeeze the love bum, but he will squeeze you.
Well, I will say this: I've been losing weight, but don't fret, because I still have love bum capabilities. So
Oh,
don't
love
worry.
bum is like I view you as like love bum. Like
Uh,
there's so much love.
yeah.
It's not a
Oh, Tip.
physical space, it's like an emotional space.
Oh, I love that. Even. Oh, Tip, you're the best. Oh, you see, Tip. I remember when I when I first met you. It was in Buffalo at Jarvis' mom's old place in North Tonawanda. That was when I first met you and Adrian. As a matter of fact, I met
Yes.
both of you guys at the same time for the first time, and this goes for both of you guys. But since we're talking to you and about you, I said this is going to be awesome. I said, she is going to
Mm.
be awesome. I can't wait. And like the vibes and energy was just immediate. I was just like, yeah, this is good. This is going to be a great tour. And Adrian too. I have to throw him in there because he's probably going to see this, and I have to give him credit too.
No, I'm
Well, I'll
sending
make sure
all the
he
love
doesn't see
back to
it.
you.
Oh, you're the best. You're the best.
No,
Um,
100% all the love back.
so we're at the hour and 20 or hour and 10 mark. But Rodney has a couple more questions here.
Do I?
Well, we talked before as I was doing the dishes, and I said, "Can you come up with some questions?" And you asked one.
Oh,
You just had
wait a
one.
minute. Okay, you know something, Tip? Now we're improving here. But okay, so a friend of mine who was she was at the show in LA, okay? And I'm looking for what there it is. So she sent me. She took video of you singing one of your songs, and I'm not sure if it's released or unreleased. And I've been meaning to text you and ask you, but I keep forgetting. I admit it, I forgot. But and she was like, "What's the name of the song?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know." And then I searched for it and I couldn't find it. So I'm like, maybe it's unreleased. Maybe it was one of the unreleased songs she did in her set. I don't know. But I'm gonna listen to it. I'm not gonna play it just in case it's unreleased, but I'm gonna maybe try to recite a lyric just so you
Yeah.
can see.
Yeah,
Okay,
I want you to sing my song.
okay, one sec. She sent me the video, and so I'm gonna mute myself because we want to protect all the special music. So hang on.
Is Rodney going to sing your song?
Yeah, I want to hear him sing. I know he's an amazing singer.
I'm so excited. That's like an honor. It's going to happen in the moment right now. we're like both washing his face. You got it?
Sing it.
Okay. So oh, you want me to sing it? Okay. So it's you open up my eyes. You give me company. That one. Is that released or unreleased?
It's
I,
unreleased, and I didn't even
okay.
think I was gonna release it.
Okay. Okay.
I have
Okay.
so many unreleased songs, and I'm
Yeah.
literally actually right now figuring out trying to what to do because I'm also working on a next album
Mm-hmm.
that I'm
Mm-hmm.
recording later this year. But at the same time, I have all these songs that are unreleased that I've performed at shows that people love,
Yeah.
but they're not like the right fit for the next album. So I actually don't know what to do.
That is a great problem to have. That's a good position to be in. That's awesome. But oh, okay. So now I can finally. This is like a few weeks ago. I just kept forgetting. So now I can finally let her know that it's unreleased. So don't stress her because she's been like searching for it, and then I started searching for
Aw.
it, and I was like, wait a minute, it's probably unreleased. So there you
Well,
go. Now we have
tell
the
her
answer.
tell her to follow me so she
Mm-hmm.
will be the first one to know because I am literally planning right now on releasing some of the unreleased stuff. I just don't know how. But
Gotcha. Gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha. I
And
will
if she
relay
like
the
pushes
message
me
for
to
sure.
release it, then I'll release it. I just need to know that people love it, you know, if someone's gonna spend money on it, it needs to be
Yeah,
worth it.
yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's like a new space that I find myself in. I mean, I'm nowhere near the songwriter and performer you are, Tip, but
Stop it.
having started, I'm so serious. You're just incredible. I'm just a guy with a shirt with a bottle
You're
on it.
just popping. It's
Wait,
just popping.
what did they pop in? What?
Popping bottles.
Well, I just saw popping, so he's just popping.
Tippy, one of my favorite things in this world is when, I'm just hanging out by myself, like whatever, and I get a FaceTime call from Rodney. I'm like, oh, okay. Like it happens like once a month ish or something. And every time he calls, he's just like, Jarv. And it's my favorite thing because it's basically saying like, I'm alone and you're alone and I want to hang out and we can't hang
Yeah,
out. What are you
let's
doing right
let,
now?
let's
Let me call
let's
you.
catch up. Let's talk. What's
I
happening?
love that. I
I
love
love it so
that.
much. I literally, it, it is my favorite thing. Those random FaceTime calls from Rodney, like always pick up no matter what I'm doing. Like, I'm on the train. I'm so sorry, Jar.
Like that.
Love it.
I feel like that's a thing now where people are like I don't like when people randomly FaceTime me. I'm like, well, first of all,
I do.
just don't
Yeah,
pick
do it.
up if you don't want to
Yeah,
talk.
fine.
That there's a very easy fix to that. It's not like once you get a FaceTime, your phone answers itself and shows you doing something that you don't want people. That's not how it works. So if you don't want to FaceTime, then don't pick it up. But I feel like more and more that's becoming a thing with people. They're like, don't randomly FaceTime me. I don't want to FaceTime. Like, well, then don't pick up. I'm sorry. I just thought you'd
Sorry,
like
I
to see my
FaceTimed you.
face.
I have a good face. Just thought you want to see it.
Sorry, I like my face. I just figured you would too. But
Uh, so, so Tippy, I did want to ask you, and you might be a little embarrassed, and you can say no, but you have a picture of when you were a little kid pretending you just wanted to be Pippi Longstockings. It's and the reason I bring it up is because it makes me so happy. It like just makes me. It at the core of it just is you. It's so special and so happy. Um, can you show us that picture?
I actually don't know where it is. That's my
Fair
honest
enough.
response. I know it's very Yeah, sorry. I hope I don't disappoint you. I would have loved to share it if I knew, but I don't know where it is.
I was gonna ask you beforehand, like just to like prepare, but I was like, no, I want to put her on the spot. But
Yeah.
you showed me that picture, and there's something about it where it's pure joy. Like you're a little kid, want to be Pippi Longstockings. Pippi Longstockings. She has red hair. And you have like, you know.
I mean, I probably have it somewhere in a text to or from you because
Yeah.
that's what happens with you.
I'm like, hey, how's it going? Like, I'm good, Jeff. What do you want? I'm just seeing how you doing. Yeah, I'll text you that picture again.
That's totally so true, though. Yeah, I'll find it.
Good. No,
Yeah.
it's such a great picture.
Yeah. I mean, she's my hero.
Pippi?
Yeah.
Badass.
Mm.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that. I think, and this is nothing but a compliment. I think that's the first time I've ever heard Pippi Longstocking mentioned as someone's hero. Why is Pippi Longstocking your
Yeah.
hero? I like that. I like that.
I mean,
Me too,
she's first of
actually.
all
Yeah.
like the first true feminist. She just didn't give a fuck. She
Very true.
just, just ate whatever she wanted to, just walked on all the shelves. She just said whatever she wanted, and she was a really cool friend, and she was super strong. She just did not follow the rules of society. She's just
Yeah,
like, I'm gonna be me, and you be you, and we can be friends.
I like that. I like that. That is
Yeah.
so awesome. I'm just gonna start telling people that. Like I have a friend who is your role model? Okay, I have a friend whose role model is Pippi Longstocking, and this is why. No, that's so cool. I love that. I love that because, like I
That's why I
said, I
call you.
don't think I've ever heard anyone mention that her as their hero. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
yeah, I just grew up with Astrid Lindgren, who's the author, because she's Swedish. So
Mm,
Pippi in the Swedish is Pippi Långstrump.
I
So I just
love
grew
that.
up with like all the books and all the movies, watching her.
Nice, nice. Wow, 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 wow.
I think it was extra special
So
too because I also grew up watching her
Yep, same
and
here.
loved her for the same reasons. It's a very universal. It was ahead of its time, and I think it was like a moment, right? Where like
yeah,
we're all of us are kind of at the age where we saw it, but it you ask a lot of people, and not many always know who that is.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was real special that you did and that she was your hero. Because I'm like, she's kind of mine too.
That's
I
awesome.
have red hair.
You
she's
do
really
have red
cool.
hair. That's right. I'm saying it like I didn't know that, but as soon as you said it, I just looked at your face. And I'm like, yeah, you do. Here it
Maybe you should
is.
dress up as Pippi for Halloween. Just like, let your hair grow until October, and then you can braid it, and then you'll be ready. Halloween
Pippi,
2021.
you know I can't grow hair.
Let your beard grow in a Pippi fashion.
Just like this.
Now that you can
Like
do.
the mustache just comes out like this.
You could do that.
That you can do.
Yeah.
I've
I've always
seen.
wanted to walk on shelves.
Oh my God! Wait a minute. Let me see if I can share what's going on right here with you guys. Oh, he's not. He doesn't want to come. There he is.
Aww,
Oh,
who is that?
This is Khan, and he wants to get down
Con. Hi, Con. Aw, I really wish we had a pet.
there. He literally just walked in here like he owns the place, which he basically does.
That's amazing.
well, I wanted to end this episode with the question that my favorite podcast ends with, and The question is, what is the hardest time that you've laughed?
I like
That I've laughed.
The hardest time, yeah. And caveat, it doesn't need to be a good story. It doesn't have to be like, it just whatever comes to mind, like the time you laughed the hardest in life.
I feel like I laugh every day. I'm very fortunate. So it's hard to like isolate a moment. I do have an embarrassing moment, but it's not my embarrassing moment, so I don't feel comfortable sharing it on the behalf of the other person.
Good for you, Tip.
Was that a poopy professional answer again, Jeff?
Wait, what?
Was that a very like by the book answer again?
No, what? No, any answer is fine. I'm just looking for, I just want to laugh, really. And that was funny.
Well, okay, I can share that this person um was trying to his mom could make a headstand, which is like a yoga pose you stand on your head. And he was trying to do it, so the entire family was around and I was there too. And as he did the headstand, he farted really loud in front of the entire family, and that was really funny.
That'll do it.
Farts are always funny. Always.
That'll do it.
Yeah. And then he fell because he was shocked too.
And he also fell. Ooh. I want to be his friend.
You are. You are.
Oh, that's incredible. I love that. I love the fact that he fell too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, surprise farts are the best.
Oh man. Are there any other kind of farts but surprise ones? It's always like, oh, I got a fart right now. That's a surprise, but maybe I won't or maybe I will, depending on the situation.
But you know, sometimes like you don't even get a chance to reflect on it. And that's a real surprise
right.
fart.
That's right.
When it just happens.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
I prefer farts I can reflect on, that's for sure.
Those are the introspective.
My face is so red, I'm laughing so hard.
Those are the farts that make you reflect on life.
Well, on that note, that's a high note. That's a high note.
You mean high pitched?
Yes.
That wasn't funny at all. Oh man, quiet farts always funny. One time,
because we're still kids.
That's right. That's the answer.
One time I farted, and I was with an ex-girlfriend of mine. It was one of my proudest moments because it was the first time I made someone laugh because of just a fart, not because it was a fart. The fart we're just like sitting down watching TV, and like kind of like moved over there, you know, to kind of like let it out, but wasn't exactly right. So it goes. In
the world. Oh my god.
No, it went from low to high to low again. It was like a sound bite, a sound fart.
Oh, farts.
Oh, farts. I did find the Pippi photo, by the way.
Oh, yes.
Can you show us?
Yeah. Let me. Well, how can I not make the light so? Wait, maybe this will help. No, that.
No, that was worse.
Oh. I wish I could like.
That was awesome. Like, wait, let me try this. Let's see. Can you guys see it now?
I'm sorry. I'm just trying over here.
Technology's different.
That's not what I was when I grew up. We did not have phones with computers. I still had a wire to my phone. You dial it. My hand. I mean, it's funny though.
I am having
just thinking about how much technology changed since we grew up. It's
Oh.
insane.
Leaps and bounds.
Like we are old.
Yeah, it's so different. Oh, it's so different. Good Lord, how much has changed.
Everything.
Can you imagine dating at that time? Where like you meet someone in person and you get their landline number and you call them and then, hey, let's meet at Rockefeller Center at 9 p.m. And then you had to be there.
Yeah.
On time at the place.
Yep.
That you described to be at. It was hard.
Landline. Oh my goodness! I remember making phone calls on our big landline phone that would get so hot after a while. And then we got a cordless phone, and we were just so cool. We thought we were so cool. You couldn't go like more than a foot away, or you lose reception.
Still impressed by that technology. Cordless?
Yeah.
What's
Look
the
at
background? What do you
that.
do? Oh!
All right. Okay.
That is.
I wonder if I can use
exactly.
This hair.
Yeah.
I can't.
That is. Oh God. That is adorable.
Oh, those are still your eyes. So
wow.
For those of you that are just like listening, SIRINTIP put the picture as her background of her being Pippi Longstockings, and it is strikingly the same face, the same exact face.
That
it's
is
so cute.
Incredibly adorable. Look at that.
Oh, you made me so happy.
Gosh, I'm same here. Like I'm such a happy guy right now.
Aww.
You just made the happiest guy more happy.
I'm surprised I'm not crying right now just because of so much happiness. I cried last night. I was watching. Have any of you watched This Is Us, or have you heard of the show This Is Us? Oh
no.
Oh my. Oh boy. So the basic premise. It's about. It centers around this a family, the Pearson family, and there are three children, two of which are twins, and then one is adopted. So from the first episode, you find out, and the adopted child, he's black. So you start. They tell you how that happened in the first episode, but just the storylines, how they open, how they unfold, how they overlap. This show, it is a constant like tear jerker and heart tugger, which I am all about. I love a good cry. I don't care. I will laugh 1 minute and cry the next. Doesn't matter to me. And this is what that show does for me. It's just, and then they just bring it out of me. I don't know what it is. I mean, I do know what it is. I'm an emotional guy. That's what it is. And I am happy about it. Like, that's why I'm glad my father never taught. I have three older brothers. So I grew up in a house full of guys, including my father. My mom was the only woman in the house. But my father never, still to this day, I just turned 41 years old. My oldest brother, he'll be 48 years old. Never to this day has my father told any of my brothers and I that men don't cry. And I cannot tell you how grateful and I am for that, for him never saying that and never even displaying anything remotely close to that. Because now I look at where I am today, and I'm so secure and I'm so comfortable with those emotions and showing those emotions. I have no problems crying, whether it's on TV or whether it's a real life situation. I have no problem because it's an emotion, and it's a natural thing, and it comes out of us. So to suppress that, or anything else for that matter, it's unhealthy. So I just think about that. Speaking of crying, I just went down a rabbit hole of talking about my
Yeah,
dad.
man.
I love that.
For the for those that
PP
are
would
looking,
endorse it.
she would. Rodney's available for those that are looking. Sensitive guy,
Rodney is
great
available.
hugs.
I don't know how attractive that made me.
Rodney is in your third person.
I don't know if that.
What else? What else is Rodney?
I don't know if that helped. I don't know if that helped or hurt me, but that's right.
That says it all.
That says it all. I love that. I love that.
I love you guys so much. This was so fun.
This was
Tippy,
awesome.
SIRINTIP, thank you so much. You're beautiful. You're wonderful. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you so much for having me. I love catching up with you. It's been way too long.
Seriously.
Yes, it has.
Way too long.
You are the best. You really are. And
I'll love back at you.
It's just a pleasure knowing you, and it's just a pleasure knowing you. There you go. Everything else is a bonus. Knowing you, being able to listen to your music and hearing you sing, that's all a bonus. But just knowing you that's the ultimate pleasure, and I couldn't mean that more.
Rodney, you're too kind. My favorite.
Yeah, you should be less kind.
My favorite moments of the tour is also like when I see you in the audience, because it just made me so calm. I'm like, oh, Rodney is here. Okay, I'm okay. And then at the end of the tour, when you would come up and like sing the type part.
Yes, that was my favorite. Oh man, I remember the very first show. I was like, I like that part. I like that part. I said, okay, I really like that part. When I first heard it, I was like,
I want to bring you into a joke. I don't think we told you this joke. It's a joke that me and Rodney love, that you will love. Basically, we were playing a show in Delaware. There's nobody. It's a big theater, pretty big. Nobody there. The only people there there's two bands. The two bands were there, and a couple moms and sisters.
Yeah,
that's it.
Relatives.
So we're playing this gig. We get all the way down there. We're playing for a different artist who's actually awesome, and we get a couple free drinks, and trying to make the best of the situation. So Rodney, I'm sitting down with Ryan, the singer of this group we're with, that Rodney's playing drums for, I'm playing bass for. Sitting with Ryan, sitting to the side at this like stand-up table, whatever, on the big chair. And Rodney comes in as the band before us is playing and just goes, he has wine, he just goes, Cabernet, like really loud. There's no one there. Basically, if I could hear it, everybody heard it. And it was like one of those moments where I was like, I'm so embarrassed, but that is so funny. So now, all the time, like, if anyone has a drink, I'm just going, Cabernet.
Oh, man. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh man.
Well, I think this was good, guys. I gotta pee. I gotta head out, I think.
Well, there you go. And
Yeah. Um, thank you guys so much. This was so fun. It makes my soul and my heart feel so good to talk to you guys
Me
like
oh,
this
too.
and
This was
same
a
be silly.
really, yeah, this was so awesome. Thank you again for having
Yeah,
me.
This
of
was
course.
awesome.
Let's do it again. There are no rules with this podcast. We'll just do what we want. So we're gonna,
Perfect.
yeah,
How
yeah.
often is
Maybe
it?
uh whenever we want. We have to do one a month for our Patreon. But now that it's on Spotify and all the platforms, and we have someone like putting it up for us, we can do it whenever we want because all I got to do is record it and send it, and it's easy. So we're actually we're beyond like what we need to do every month. So it's literally we make the rules, you know.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Oh yeah.
yeah. But this is so fun. We should definitely do it again. Very, very, very.
Well, dude,
Yay.
go pee and
Should I
go
go
pee.
pee now and then say goodbye, or say goodbye and then go pee?
Go pee, because then you could
Yeah.
say goodbye and then go pee, because then you'd be rushing your pee, and
I
or maybe
wanted to
not.
do that for like 20 minutes.
Jeez. Well, just don't rush your pee, because that's never a good thing.
Oh man, you know what I just realized? My
That was
headphones are
really
on, and
fast. Wait a minute.
you no, my headphones are on. You're gonna hear me pee if I don't press mute.
Oh God. Oh man. Actually, that just reminded me of a story. This happened recently. I was actually I was doing sound, like live sound, um for a show that my roommate started, a cooking show actually. So I'm like doing the whole boom thing, and we took a break, and while we were taking a break, the host of the show went to the bathroom, and he had a lav mic on and everything.
I see where this is going.
So we yelled the director yelled cut. So everyone cut except for the audio. The audio is still growing, it's still rolling in my ear. I had my headphones on, and I'm like, what is that? And I said, oh. So I quickly hit stop. Oh my God. I was like, well, that can be a blooper. I mean,
I hope it was number one at least.
yes, it was. It was. Oh man. Oh, but Tip, this is so awesome. So you say you have that you just have songs that you're waiting to release, and well, yeah, that's so awesome. That's
Yeah.
just, yeah. I'm yeah. That's inspirational. That's so inspirational for me. Because I'm moving more into that world. I'm embracing that world so much more. So writing and writing basically, and to hear that's an inspiration. So thank you,
Oh, thank
and
you.
just keep doing what you are doing, because it's awesome. It is awesome.
Aw, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Can I share some exciting news with you?
Yes, you can.
So, Jeff, I told you that we were working on this like live from our living room thing of fundraising for like half a year. But then
Yeah.
since October, the thing that's been taking up my entire existence is I've been working on my first ever film score.
Oh,
What?
nice.
And
Nice.
it's actually for a silent movie from 1925. It's the
Wow.
first movie with dinosaurs. So it later inspired King Kong and Jurassic Park.
Get out of
What's it
here. That's so
called?
awesome.
It's called The Lost World.
That's the
That
first movie with dinosaurs. It's called The Lost World.
from
Wow,
1925.
that's
This
incredible.
is wow. Tell me more. This is so cool.
So I wrote music for it, or I was asked to write music for it, and the biggest challenge was A, I've never written for film before. Second of all, it's a silent movie. So there's no sound effects, no dialogue, nothing for over 100 minutes.
So are you doing the sound
Wow.
effects or just the music, or is it the same?
Well, this was a project through ground up, so it's gonna come out in movie theaters whenever that is possible. There is this place called actually Alamo Draft House, which is all over the US. So
Mm,
they sell like beer and food, and then they also have a film screen, so they screen films. So it'll be released in movie theaters whenever things can open. But then the other part of it is that they're releasing it online, on demand, in a bundle with five other ground up artists who've also made new film scores for old silent movies and a Snarky Puppy film. So
wow.
a lot of people, I think, are going to be very excited about it because it's going to be like these really cool old movies, but with like scores that were actually written for them. Because
Yeah.
back then,
Hmm.
for film, they would have these
Hmm.
called cue sheets and cue books. So it would be like, oh, here's a romantic scene. And then you look through the book, and then you have these like 12 different options of what to play for a romantic scene. And then, like, oh, here's this.
Wow.
So nothing was like actually composed for the films.
Hmm.
So it's really cool to do that. And so to answer your question, Jeff, I they didn't ask me to do sound effects. I've been doing a little bit of them. I don't have all the gear to make like all the sound effects.
Yeah, well, it
That
was kind of like
that's
an
awesome.
it was an ignorant question because like the old films, I'm not familiar. I mean, I've seen them, but yeah, you just had they're just scores and then sometimes sound effects, and I was unsure like who does what or if it's in the same like if
Yeah,
it's by the same person. You know
they're
what I'm saying?
separate. Yeah, because
Yeah,
the sound effect that they're
back
called
then.
the Foley artist. A friend of mine is actually a Foley artist out in LA, and just seeing her post on Instagram, like she'll post video of her actually doing Foley and sound for movies. It's so cool just seeing what she uses for different sounds and like different like glass breaking. She'll use a window or she use a plate. It's so cool. It's so cool. That's an awesome world and profession.
My
Foley
favorite
artist.
sound, and then typically we'll get back to what you're saying, but my favorite sound is the horse. You ever see Mighty Python and the Holy Grail?
Uh,
Yes.
Do you remember that scene? Where, like over the hill, the guy's like going like this, and then he's like just walking, and there's a guy next to him with coconuts, just going.
That's hilarious.
Anyway, it just it was yeah. That's so cool though. I'm so I want to hear that. I'm so excited to hear that. It's such a unique, fun idea to like compose music for old films that don't have their own composed music. So you can, how long was the film? How many songs, or how
It's
much work? A
it's been
lot.
too much work because
Cool.
it's over 100 minutes. It's 105 minutes. And there's no pause because when you make a pause, it's literally silent.
mm,
Usually, if you watch a film,
wow.
if it's a silent part of
Right.
the movie, there's some I believe like ambience, or maybe someone like walked, or there's some kind
Hmm.
of sound. When there's no sound, it's so awkward.
That
So
is that's so cool.
everything I've needed to write needs to like modulate and work with each other. Every tempo change, every key change, every time signature change, every instrument, like it's been a massive undertaking. And Ground Up didn't ask me for any kind of specific instrumentation or anything like that. So I didn't really know what to do. And I just went in and I ended up writing for full orchestra and effects.
Wow.
Easy. You went for the
Yeah,
easiest
right.
option.
Yeah.
It's been, yeah, I've learned so much.
Like, come on, Tip, challenge yourself a little bit. Why don't you?
That's all I've been doing this past year. So right now I'm working on orchestral programming, so I'm making all the instruments sound real and alive
Wow.
because I don't have the budget to pay for an orchestra. So
Not yet. There you go.
so, so talking about that, Rodney, what I've learned with this film, because there was so much music,
Hmm.
is that I literally did not have time to think about the quality of the ideas. It was just
Ah,
like I need to write and move on and move on and move on and move on for a period of time to make sure that I could meet my deadline. I need to write 5 minutes of music a day.
right. Gotcha.
And
Gotcha.
and I think if you kind of want to build your catalog even more, just doing that, like for
Hmm.
a month or for however long, write 3 minutes of music a day.
Yeah.
And that is your priority, no matter how good or how bad it sounds, just to write and move on.
Love that. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you for that. Thank you. I
Because now
love
I'm
that.
not scared of writing anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wrote a new
Ah, it's
song
so cool.
recently, and it goes like it's actually like a cover of a song. And it kind of goes like hum, hum.
I've never heard that one.
No. Which song is that?
So when I was in high school, what song is that? When I was in high school, I don't know why I did this. When people would be like, "Oh, I love that new song," and I'm like 16, be like, "Oh yeah, me too." That part where it's like, "And I'm at the store, like, him," and they'd be like, "What?" Like, no, no, you know the song. Clearly, I'm not singing anything. But they're like, some people would be like, "Oh yeah, you're right. I know that. I know that part of the song."
Oh, like you did when I said Williams Air Force Base. You're like, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, the Williams Air Force Base is more quickly funny than that joke. I had to explain it. Um, but
Oh
no,
God.
You guys, jokesters.
I can't help it. I love jokes. I love them so much. But I love music, and what you've been doing is exceptional, like for real exceptional. Um, and you should pat yourself on the back. You should feel real good. I'm
I
proud of you.
agree. I
Thank
agree.
Yeah, I really am.
Same
Doesn't it
here.
feel doesn't it feel weird to say I'm proud of you to someone? Because for me, it's like I'm proud of you. It's like, well, I know what's best, and I'm proud of you. But
I
it's,
didn't think about it
no,
like that at all. It felt more weird when you started to question it because why is he question it? Is he not proud of me?
no, I can question it more if you want. I mean, is he not proud of me? Oh, I am so proud of you. I would brag about you. I can't wait. I really am.
Yeah.
Oh
Do you get what I
my
mean, though?
God.
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, whoa, wait a second. That was silent and that was so awkward, but you didn't have any music for it,
Get him.
right? Oh,
All right, now you're just dipping into the joke reserve tank, aren't you?
reserve tank. That was in the moment. She just talked about how she had to have continuous music with no silence in the movie, and we're making a movie right now. You know what I'm saying? All right,
Yeah.
Rodney. I need a hug is what I need right now. You're making fun of me and I need a hug.
We're sending a hug.
What?
Oh my God. This is too much fun.
Yeah.
Oh, but guys, I'm gonna get ready to go because I have to go and make and drink my tea for the night.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
need to have some dinner too.
there
I'm
you
hungry.
go.
Oh yeah. You want to talk about dinner real quick?
What is
Steak. I'm
that?
gonna open it up. It's a ribeye steak. I'm gonna cook it after this.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Well, look
It
at
is.
you.
Yeah, check it out. Oh man. There you go.
Wait,
Oh,
you're
that.
literally just holding a raw ribeye steak?
Yeah. Yeah. Why wouldn't I do that? It was right behind me the whole time.
Because I feel like a normal person would just like show the package, kind of like where you started, but then you actually like open the package and then you're holding the raw steak.
Because I don't want to see the package. If someone showed the package, I'd be like, "Show me the steak." Wouldn't you? Am I? Is,
I would I always just think about hygiene and like wash your hands, don't touch your food.
oh yeah, it's gonna be cooked.
I hope so. I hope so. Oh,
Oh,
oh, that was incredible.
that was next level.
That did it for me. Oh boy,
Man, I feel like we could like. I was trying to be respectful of everybody's time and like end it like 2 or 3 times. But I think that we could just keep talking forever, us three. That's really the problem. So like when I was
well,
in what?
I was gonna say, well, you have to go cook your tainted meat, and and Tip has to eat, and I have to
Yep.
drink tea.
Yep. So what I was gonna say is when I was in high school, I was like, oh no, I was like 19, just my first like girlfriend that I was in love with. We could never get off the phone, but both of us wanted to, but didn't want to be like, all right, I have to go, because that would be like, oh, they didn't want to talk to me anymore. So every time that we would end, we'd be like, all right, well, we should probably go now. You go ahead and hang up. No, you hang up.
Oh, the
No,
dance.
you hang up. So here's what the solution was. All right, let's count to 3 together and we'll both hang
At the
up at the
same
same
time.
time.
That's right.
Yeah.
But that never works.
It worked every time. It
Oh.
didn't work for you. Did you do it?
Because then it would be like the person who actually did it was like not really in love.
Yeah, it was never ending.
It'd be like 3, 2, 1. Oh.
I know. I was.
Oh,
I
you're
was.
still there.
I was.
You're still there.
I
You're
was.
still...
I was still the one who waited. I was still always the one. Like so many times, it didn't always work. I guess it was like 3, 2, 1. Good night. You're still there. No, no, I'm not. But I think it would be
Oh
fun
my
to
gosh.
end this episode doing that together.
Ah, I see. I figured that's where you're going.
But we have to promise, pinky swear, that we're all going to hang up at the same time.
You got it. I think we can do it.
And if you don't do it, my leave button is end the session button. So you have it's just going to end.
Yeah. So basically,
Guys,
we just. There you go. There you go. Oh,
3,
God.
2, 1. Jeff ends the session. Man, this was so fun. We're gonna do it again soon.
I would love to. I would love to.
Me
And
too.
again, Tip, so good to see you and talk to you.
You too. Let's catch
It's
up
so
again.
great.
Absolutely.
Let's do it soon. Maybe next week sometime. Maybe something like that.
All right.
I will have my life back once my film is done.
There you go. Can't wait to see it and hear it.
I hope people will like it. It's very different from anything I've ever done.
And that's good. That's good. That's growth.
Yeah,
and that's expansion. Beautiful.
That's so cool that you're doing that. I can't wait to hear it. Will you let me know?
I just said that, Jeff.
You know, man, when I said I can't wait to hear it, it was like it was an honest, like from the heart thing. And you're like, I just said that thing that you said from your heart.
I speak to both of us. Okay. You didn't know that?
Okay, right, guys. 3. I love you guys.
Love you guys.
Bye.
3, 2, 1.